Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Happy Saturday. I have my favorite cup of coffee. I've been obsessed with this one flavor, Nespresso pod. So I use Nespresso for my coffee, and it's the double espresso scuro. It is literally the best out of all the capsules I've tried. I like my coffee not too strong, but I also don't like it too light because I do use oat milk for my coffee. So if the espresso is too light and then I add an oat milk, it feels like I'm just drinking milk. But the double espresso scuro is really nice because it has that perfect bitterness to it. I don't know what the roast is exactly, but it goes perfect with oat milk. As you can see, I am in my casual wear. It is Saturday and it's a rainy Saturday here in Vancouver. If you don't already know, I typically do my podcast episodes on weekends just because during the week it's usually really busy with client calls and even in-person events. So I love doing my podcast recordings on Saturdays or Sundays because nobody else is working. It's really quiet because it is the weekend. I don't always do my makeup, and I'm in this like Chinese era, I guess, that everyone's been talking about, where I'm just doing no makeup on some days. I've actually completely removed my eyelash extensions. I used to get them done consistently every single like 2 to 3 weeks. I would get them filled, but then I started to notice that my eyelashes are becoming more damaged. So I'm noticing like really large gaps in between my lash line, and the lash techs I've been seeing in Asia and here been really hard for them to do my lashes. So I started using a serum and just doing this whole no makeup look and gluing on eyelashes when I like want to go out. Actually, with that being said, for my Asian girlies listening to my podcast, if you're on the same boat, which I'm sure I feel like a lot of us are with Asian lashes, and you're trying to grow them, I have tried the Ordinary serum and it didn't really work for me. And I know everybody swears by the lash serum by Ordinary, but it didn't work. What's actually made a huge difference is using this serum from Asia. I believe you can also get it here in Canada and probably the US as well, but it's called the heroin, I don't know why it's called that, heroin lash serum, and it's been absolutely game changing. I'm going to share before and after of my eyelashes because it's been incredible. So anyways, a tip for you guys, if you're trying to heal your eyelashes, try the heroin serum. Anyways, we're here doing the podcast and I'm excited for today's episode, which is about the power of your own words. Now, if you haven't listened to last week's video, which is about your identity and what that looks like when you're trying to heal from chronic symptoms, I highly recommend checking it out because I shared so many golden nuggets when it comes to who you are as a person when you are dealing with chronic symptoms. A lot of the times we identify, and I say we because this is something that I went through with my journey, is that because we've been sick for so long with eczema or inflammation that we don't even really know who we are anymore when we start to see healing because we're so used to not healing. If you want to learn all about how your identity and how you see yourself can actually impact your healing, then make sure you check out that episode. I think this is a good transition into today's episode. And you know, I'm really big on talking about the mind-body connection. That was actually a huge part of my presentation that I did at the wellness show. But the mind-body connection, it's more than just what you think about every day. And so that's why in today's video, I want to talk about your language and how your words, what you say to yourself and actually to other people as well, can actually impact your healing. Then I'm also going to talk about why people keep staying stuck in the cycle of inflammation, how your nervous system responds to your words, and how we can actually start to change the way you speak so that can actually change your reality. And we'll talk about the science behind all of this as well. So just like how some foods nourish our bodies and other foods not so much, our thoughts, our words, what we say to ourselves and our body do the same thing. If you're eating lots of fruits and vegetables and you're getting lots of nutrients and colorful foods into your diet, you're going to feed your microbiome, and it also actually feeds your mind. We know that, right? Nourishing foods are going to nourish your body. When it comes to thoughts, it's the same thing. If you nourish your mind with positive thoughts, with thoughts that support your healing, with thoughts that empower you, with words that lighten you up, that encourage your healing journey or whatever it is, then you're also nourishing your body too. It's the issue, right? A lot of people think nourishing your body is just about what we eat and what we absorb and, you know, the nutrients and knowing your root causes and addressing them and getting rid of pathogens, all the things that I've talked about as well. But this video, I really want to emphasize that so do your thoughts and your words and your language. Every thought that you have on a daily basis, and our brains have thousands of thoughts that happen every day. Every thought, every word, the language that you use, when it becomes repetitive, if you have a repetitive thought, a repetitive word that you're using, it actually becomes a belief. Once a repetitive word or thought becomes a belief, this belief actually shapes your reality. Your brain learns from repetition. And this is what we call neuroplasticity, which is basically your brain's ability to rewire its neural pathways based on thoughts and patterns. You've probably heard of the saying, neurons that fire together, wire together, meaning repeated thoughts, positive or negative, strengthen actual pathways in the brain. And this is why we have to be really mindful of what sort of words and language we use on a daily basis, because you might not think it's making a difference in your life. If it becomes a belief, and it most likely is a belief, because if you're saying it often, it's going to become a belief, then that is actually what's going to show up in your reality. Here's a perfect example. It's like a child who was told growing up that they're not enough, that their grades aren't high enough, that they have to do more, that they have to be smarter. Like, why are you not getting 95% and an A+ in your math course? Why are you not better than this other person? Why are you not getting straight A's on your report card? You have to work hard to succeed. I'm using this example because this is actually my own experience coming from a first-generation immigrant where my parents came from Taiwan and took a lot of the traditional beliefs and the culture here into Canada. I was personally raised in a very strict household where it was all about this, right? It was like, you got to do more, you're not doing enough, your grades aren't good enough, you need to be the best of the best. And we were never praised. I was never praised for any of the things that I thought was success, where, yeah, you know what? I did get straight A's in high school. I did get into UBC right away, and I did get accepted into dietetics, which is a very competitive program, on the first try. But I always felt like it was never enough. Now, it makes sense because growing up as a child, that was the belief, right? That was what was told to me growing up. It is not enough. You have to be the best of the best. You need to work harder. It was basically never enough as a kid. So my brain learned that from repetition, right? From repetition of my parents saying that to me on a daily basis, the experience that I had at home. And then, of course, if I'm being told the same thing over and over and over again, I'm going to start to believe that. And that's going to show up in my later life, which is exactly how it's been playing out, right? I'm still trying really hard to work on my subconscious beliefs around that I am enough. I am doing enough when it comes to my work and my business. I am doing enough for my clients. I am wildly successful. I have to remind myself of this on a daily basis because that was not something that I learned growing up. What I'm trying to say here is that we learn a lot of our beliefs from the past, from our childhood, from experiences. And so maybe this is something that you want to think about when it comes to your healing when you feel like you're not doing enough. Is that coming from a pattern in your childhood where you always felt like you had to be doing something to succeed? Are you finding yourself hustling and burning out? You don't know when to stop. You have a very dysregulated nervous system. You just feel like you're on a go-go lifestyle or mindset even, then that might be something that's really holding you back in healing because you're constantly saying to yourself in your thoughts and in your words that you have to do more. This is why a lot of people stay stuck in this cycle because they think they need to do more. They think that I'm not doing enough, that something is wrong, that I have to fix something. There's always a problem to fix, right? And think about how your body right now, when you say those things or think those things, how does your body feel? If you were to close your eyes right now and tune into what that feels like in your body. I got to do more. I'm not doing enough. I need to do this and this to heal my body. You're not going to feel good, right? You're going to feel tension somewhere in your body. Maybe you're holding it in your chest. Maybe you're holding it in your shoulders. You feel stressed. You feel frustrated, right? So the feeling that you're having around these thoughts isn't just like an emotional feeling or a mental thought. It's physiological. So it's affecting your body and it's sending messages to your brain and to your nervous system. It's a threat, those thoughts and those words. We're going to take a quick break. I wanted to take a moment to talk about something I see all the time as a root cause dietitian. So many people are struggling with gut issues, eczema, inflammation, fatigue, blood sugar imbalance, you name it. And they've tried everything under the sun, but nothing is really sticking. They go to the doctor's office and the first thing they're given is a medication or a steroid to help their skin. and there's not a lot of conversation about addressing symptoms from a root cause perspective. And this is where I come in. I help people as a dietitian to get to the root cause of exactly what's going on and create a practical, personalized nutrition plan that actually makes a difference. No strict protocols, no restrictive dieting, and no detoxes. Just a clear plan that you can actually follow that is sustainable. And this is exactly what we do inside our group and one-on-one coaching services. We help our clients feel better in their bodies and actually become symptom-free. If this is something that you've been looking for, I would love to work with you. You can simply book a free consultation in the show notes below. The consultation is for me to understand your health goals, where you're feeling stuck, and how we might be able to support you. I would love to help you feel better, confident in your body, confident in your skin, and confident in yourself by healing from the inside out. Now, this is not a program that will just tell you what to do. This is a program where we work with you. We are by your side the entire time. We help you understand your symptoms and your body, and we combine nutrition with mind-body medicine. I'll leave the link in the show notes below for you to book a free call. Now, back to the episode. When your body starts to receive these messages that you're not doing enough, it's going to stay inflamed. Period. Because it's in a threat mode. You're running away from the bear. You're no longer in this environment where you feel safe to heal. So people end up getting stuck in this loop. They're doing more. They're always searching for the next fix. And then they're still flaring. And then when they're flaring, they want to do more. So it's a really frustrating cycle for a lot of people. A lot of people stay stuck in this loop because subconsciously feel like they always need to do more, whether it's a learned experience or behavior growing up, or it's something that they've been going through because of dealing with chronic inflammation for a long period of time. They're still flaring. They're still having symptoms. And what happens when you're flaring, you have symptoms, you keep thinking you have to do more. And so this is why I'm here as a practitioner to unteach all of that, because it is so not about doing more. It is so not about that. And I can't tell you how many clients have healed from not doing all those freaking things, slowing down and allowing their body to actually feel safe to heal. So if right now you are speaking to yourself in a way where it's not supportive of your healing and you do have those constant thoughts and words, it's more than just thoughts, okay? It's also words. So if you are saying to yourself, oh, I can't heal because I need to go on a strict diet, or I can't go out with my friends until my skin is healed, or when I have less symptoms, or you often think to yourself, I don't think it's possible for me to heal, or you actually notice that when you talk to other people about your journey, you're saying those things too. Oh, I can't eat that food because it's going to flare me. Oh, I'm just someone with eczema and that's something that I have to live with. Really watch what you say to yourself, but also to other people. And sometimes you won't even notice what you say until you really pay attention to it. For example, if someone constantly says that they're broke, I have no money, I'm so broke, I'm always broke, guess what? They're the ones that are usually broke. They're the ones that money seems to always leave them, right? They're the ones that never have savings because they've ingrained this belief that they're always broke. If you think that you're broke, you're going to become broke. And I've seen that actually in real life versus people who are working towards creating more abundance, or they're working towards making more money. They're really mindful what they say to themselves and what they identify themselves as. They're not identifying themselves as a broke person. They're like, you know what? I'm on my way to becoming financially abundant. This is where the language and the words are really important. So pay attention to your words, pay attention to what you say to other people, because I promise when you change your words and your language, it's going to change how you feel about yourself. It's going to change your experiences. It's going to change your reality, because what you say repetitively will eventually start to happen. Your body and your brain can't tell the difference between what you're imagining and saying to what's actually happening. So if you keep imagining that you're not healing, or that it's really hard to heal, or you have to do more to heal, your brain's going to start looking for those things in your reality. So it's going to find you more things for you to work on to heal. It's going to find more problems for you to fix. It's going to get you to do more because you're telling it, right? You're telling it what to do. You're telling it that you do need to do more. Changing the way you speak is really the foundation when it comes to healing. You can't eat a perfect diet and then behind the scenes you're telling yourself, I can't heal. It just doesn't make sense. It's like you're pressing on the gas pedal, giving yourself nutritious foods, and at the same time you're hitting the brakes because you're telling yourself that you can't heal subconsciously. So the shift that you want to make is, instead of saying, I need to do more to heal, tell yourself healing can actually happen effortlessly. Healing can happen by doing less, by allowing my nervous system to feel safe to heal. What a nice shift. How do you feel when you shift from the thought about I can't heal unless I do more to now, you know what? Healing can actually be done effortlessly. Love that. Instead of my body is flaring again. Oh, I have symptoms. I always have symptoms. Shift that to my body is responding to something. It's communicating with me. That's a much lighter statement. Instead of identifying yourself as someone who is always trying to heal, I have to always go on a diet and eat clean for results. I can nourish my body in other ways beyond food. Enjoying pizza night with my friends, because social connection and hanging out with my friends is also healing. So pick out thoughts and words that you've been using lately and try to reframe that. That's going to be part of your homework when it comes to changing the way you speak. If you need help with this, and if you feel like this is something that you're not really familiar with and you need more support, I help my clients with this, especially through EFT tapping, which is something that I'm becoming trained in. I just completed my level 1 and 2 EFT tapping certificate. So I use emotional freedom technique to help my clients clear a lot of these past beliefs, to clear a lot of these thoughts that are consuming them. I actually did a clearing session with my client a couple days ago, and she is feeling so much less overwhelmed. She is feeling a lot calmer from having our session together. This is part of my coaching. And if you're someone that wants to go deeper beyond the root causes, beyond the diet, I integrate all of this mindset work and nervous system regulation in my practice and with my clients. So you can book a free consult in the notes below. No pressure. It's really just for me to understand what can we do to support you and how can we actually get you feeling better in a way that's sustainable, not restrictive, and in a way where you don't have to keep on doing, which is the whole point of why you're listening to this episode today, is learning about how healing goes beyond just what we eat and nourish our bodies with when it comes to food. And it's also about how we nourish our minds and our body through thoughts and our language. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. We release videos every week on all kinds of different topics, from gut health topics to nutrition to skin to eczema and mind-body connection. If you're interested, then make sure you hit a follow. Also, like this video as well. Share it to anyone who might find this episode helpful. And that's it. We will see you in the next episode.